Do you see the fit right now? That's right, I've been the ref all along, and it's about time we do something. As you can see by the title, today we have a ref do something tier list. You guys gave me some of the craziest moments where a ref should be called, and I'll be officiating these characters and scenes. Instead of the standard tier list format, I'm gonna approach this like an actual referee. Let me break it down for you. I'm just kidding, let me explain. Instead of S tier, we have an ejection. A tier is a flagrant foul, there's technicals, ordinary fouls, and eventually no calls. If you don't know sports, it's really quite simple. The higher the tier, the crazier the moment is. For example, this is an ejection in basketball. If you still don't understand what I'm talking about, just sit there and enjoy the video. That's the best you can do at this point. Let's get to work. We gotta kick this off with one of my favorite ref do something moments, All Might versus Deku and Bakugo. This was an exam where All Might was posing as a villain. Deku and Bakugo either had to beat him or escape the area. When I tell you this is one of the biggest beatdowns in My Hero Academia, I mean that literally. He almost broke Deku's back with the rail bar. Again, this was an exam and he sent them to the hospital with severe injuries. Bakugo was unconscious for a while. Keep in mind, this is an out of prime All Might. He struggled to hold his muscle form and still went harder against him than All for One. There's pushing your students and then there's this. At the very least, this is a flagrant foul. Not even Batman be doing his villains like that. And speaking of which, Absolute Batman is next on the list. Unfortunately, Batman's the one calling the ref for this one because we have his first interaction against Absolute Bane. First of all, Absolute Batman is an absolute unit. He's like 6'8", 220, pure muscle. He's a monster, right? Well, no, because look at him compared to Bane. He didn't even need his venom to manhandle him like a child. I don't think I've ever seen Batman this afraid in my entire life. I would say this is an ejection if he didn't summon Godzilla to help him fight. That in itself could be a ref do something moment, so we're gonna say it cancels out. Let's call this an ordinary foul. Ash versus Tobias from Pokemon is the next moment on our list. One of the most frustrating fights I've ever witnessed. This man Ash had one of the best teams of all time. It actually seemed like he was finally about to win after that Infernojae masterclass. Absolute cinema. Then we get to his matchup against Tobias, and this man pulls out a Darkrai. Apparently he's soloed the Sinnoh gym leaders with just this Pokemon. This is like getting the new Pokemon game and transferring over your old ghost to sweep through it. Ash was somehow able to take Darkrai down after he took out a few of his Pokemon, but guess who Tobias pulls out next? Latios. How did they allow this? Did nobody question how he has two legendaries on his team? If we saw the rest of them, we might have seen Arceus. There's gotta be some kind of rules and regulations on using legendary mythical Pokemon, right? I do not care. I'm throwing this in ejection because that's what I would have done. Let's level the playing field. I mean, Ash had a Gibble out there. Next up, we have our first actual sports scene from an episode of regular show called Slam Dunk. That's right, the one where Mordecai and Rigby play the god of basketball in 2v2. In typical regular show fashion, this all starts when Mordecai and Rigby want to use the computer. Muscle Man, however, has it reserved and he's not even using it. He's playing basketball, so they challenge each other to a 2v2 game to see who gets computer rights. Mordecai and Rigby lost terribly, and for some reason, the god of basketball pulls up to train them. They still suck, so he just gives them powers. When they get that rematch against Muscle Man, they're folding him until High Five Ghost fakes an injury so the god of basketball can be on his team. Now Muscle Man has powers, and they both start flying in space like a Dragon Ball Z fight. I felt like I was watching the Broly movie. The game ends with Mordecai dunking from outer space and nuking the entire park. Yeah, this is an ejection. How could I not put this in the top tier? This was all over computer time usage. It was not that serious. Switching gears a bit to the music industry now, we have the Saja Boys and their Your Idol performance. Not gonna lie, this might be the first no call on the list. Now let me explain why, because this is definitely a crazy moment. Throughout the events of K-pop Demon Hunters, the Saja Boys became one of the biggest music groups in the entire world. In what, days, weeks? So when they got Huntrix to split up, that was the perfect opportunity to put on a performance of all performances and take everybody's souls. They had every fan brainwashed because they were out there dressed like the Undertaker, floating in the air, rapping about taking your souls, and nobody batted an eye. You might be asking yourself, how is this a no call? That concert went hard. I cannot lie to you. If I was in that situation, I would be just like everyone else, and so would you guys. I mean, that's pretty clear with the Saja Boys being in the top rankings of music in real life. Every situation so far, I have to ask myself, why is this happening? But this, I get it. You know when a ref misses a call and the ref is like, oh, I didn't see it. Well, this is exactly that. One moment I certainly did not miss, though, is Hisoka versus Gon. Like, ref, he's gooning on the battlefield, moaning and groaning at the side of this young hunter. Do something. I'm gonna throw this one in middle tier around technical foul. I hate to give Hisoka the benefit of the doubt, but he didn't really break any rules in the Heavens Arena fight. He was just acting weird. So this is one of those moments where I would blow my whistle, stop the play, make sure Gon is good, tell Hisoka to dial it down a bit, and then keep resuming. I would say his rematch against Chrollo in the manga is a bigger ref do something moment. They were using the crowd as explosives. We're going back to sports with this next one, and I'm sure you've all seen it coming. This is where ref do something basically came from. We have blue lock. Not any single moment, just blue lock matches in general. There was way too many I considered putting here, so we're just doing them all. Where do I even begin with these blue lock matches? This is ordinary soccer players pulling out eldritch creatures. I know they're not real, but there's no way it's this intense. Like, it cannot be that serious, Isagi. Why do you got two blickies behind you here? Someone always gotta have their tongue out, talking about they're going off someone on the soccer field. All of these goobers are going in ejection. The crazy part is that nothing bad even happens. They're just playing soccer, but there's being competitive, and then there's this. They might have problems with their head or something. We're gonna stay on the topic of soccer for this next one, because we're gonna talk about Mario Super Strikers, especially them ultimate attacks or kicks or whatever they be doing. More specifically, Bowser's, because what the heck is happening in this game? I was never really that into the Mario Super Striker game, so when I tell you I was confused when I saw this clip or attack or whatever this thing is, I was pretty confused. Apparently, Bowser has some kind of ultimate where he literally picks up the ball, blows fire on it, and throws it with his hands. Is that not a penalty? I want to put this in ejection, but it seems like this is allowed. I mean, they let him do it, so I guess it's a no call. You know what? I'll take some heat from the Koopa Troopa fan base. I'm gonna say this is at least foul tier. I don't know if it actually is, but I don't care. Oh, brother, we have a Shibuya incident moment up next, and it's Sukuna's little red light, green light sequence. So Jogo's about to drop a meteor on the entire city, with Kusakabe and Panda watching in horror. As they're about to turn and run, the pettiest man of all time, Sukuna, pulls up and says, "Do not move a muscle until I say so." If they were absolutely cooked in any situation here, they could either run and get chopped by Sukuna or let the meteor fall upon him. Luckily, Sukuna had a bit of grace for them and said they could run at the very last second. How petty do you have to be to pick on Kusakabe and Panda? I'm gonna put this in technical foul tier. This is what they like to call taunting out on the field. Honestly, for Sukuna's standards, this was a pretty graceful act. He didn't even have to let them go. He could have just let them get crushed. I know I just said Sukuna's the pettiest man alive for this, but I take that back, because that role easily goes to Thanos. So there's this storyline in the comics where Thanos likes to visit a guy named David every year on his birthday. You would think that's a pretty nice gesture for the Mad Titan, but it's quite the opposite. His goal every year on David's birthday is to make it the worst day of his life. On his 16th birthday, he texted his girlfriend something so egregious that they broke up on the spot. For his 21st birthday, he put something in the punch and everyone at the party drank it, and guess what happened to them? 25 years old, he burned down the grad school he got into. 27 years old, he thought he got fired, but he just killed his cat. I have no idea why Thanos was doing this and why David specifically. I guess he's just showing why he's the pettiest villain of all time. I have to put this in ejection. If the ref had any power to do something against Thanos, then he would have to get thrown out the game for this. This next entry on the list is from another show where you could just about put the entire thing on the list, but I'm just gonna choose one, and it's Yujiro Hanuma using his son Baki as nunchucks. No, that's not a metaphor. It's not some kind of funny reference. He literally grabs Baki and uses him as nunchucks. That's right, he goes haywire on a car for some reason with Baki as a weapon. I guess this was some kind of training. I didn't even remember this moment until someone brought it up to me, and it's crazy because this isn't even close to the wildest Baki moment we could have put. It was just too funny to not. I mean, Yujiro will literally see other men as women and do things with them if they're that much weaker than him. I can't get into the details, but that would definitely be an ejection. But we're just gonna focus on him using his son as nunchucks. That's like a technical foul to me. This scene honestly perplexes me more than it shocks me, but then again, it's Baki, so it's to be expected. One of the most heavily requested scenes for me to include comes from Inazuma 11, a soccer anime. At least I think it is. I haven't actually seen it, but I've seen clips here and there, and this one in particular definitely stands out. If you thought Blue Lock was bad, what the heck is happening here? Did that kid just launch a hollow purple on the soccer field? Is this an actual superpower, or is it like Blue Lock where it's just like visual effects or something? I have no idea. This is just one of many clips I've seen from this show where they're straight up launching superpowers on the soccer field. That's at least a flagrant foul to me. You can't launch a hollow purple and get away with it. This next entry I've been waiting to talk about. We have Videl versus Popovich, one of the most brutal fights in Dragon Ball history. This might be the most fitting scenario for someone to scream out "ref, do something," because this fight was an absolute massacre. This comes from the Buu saga in the World Martial Arts Tournament, and when this fight began, it seemed like Popovich needed the ref. Videl was beating the brakes off him, until it became clear that all of her attacks did absolutely nothing, and that's where the switch flipped. Videl was getting the beatdown of a lifetime. Even if she wanted to quit, she couldn't. She almost fell out of the ring getting eliminated, and Popovich saved her just to drag her back in the ring. Do you realize how diabolical that is? Where was the ref? Gohan should not have been the one to step into this fight. I mean, it's just a martial arts tournament. This is an easy ejection. There was actually a ref present, and he has no excuses here. I'm gonna read this next entry exactly how it was submitted to me. Here we go. Anakin going on a diabolical kill streak with the extra points for the kids. This, of course, is a reference to Order 66 from Star Wars, a plan to wipe out the Jedi. And just like my boy said, Anakin, aka Darth Vader, led the attack on Jedi Temple, and Got the extra points with the younglings. Feels like this might be a bit beyond the ref's jurisdiction, but I would say this is an ejection if I had the power to make a call. This might seem a little anticlimactic for a final entry here, but this suggestion was too funny not to put. We have Shadow kicking Silver in the back of the head in Sonic 06. I don't even know if I consider this a ref do something moment. He literally just kicked him in a fight, but there's something about the way he did it that's just so disrespectful. I can't explain it. Is it the slow motion? Is it the fact that Silver was charging up so hard at him? This is a no call for me, and I'm not even sure why I'm putting it here. Hopefully you get a good laugh at it, but there's the buzzer. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like and comment your favorite ref do something moment. Maybe I'll respond or even do a part 2 of this. Y'all just gotta let me know. And if you don't hit that subscribe button right now, you're off the game.